So I've been working on this fun little game where I have zombies wandering around this small little graveyard area. Now, before I do a proper reveal of this game, I need to make some different environments to play the game in. And because it's summertime, I thought it would be fitting to make a nice little beach scene to have these zombies wandering around in to play the game in. Now, I know many viewers of the Turbo Makes Games channel are, like me, primarily programmers. So with this video, what I'd like to do is walk you through my process of creating this little beach scene. And along the way, I'm going to be sharing some tips that have been helpful for me as someone who is, trying to, get better at level design and environment design. Just kind of, share my process and thoughts and tips and tricks along the way. Now, with this game, I'm sourcing all of my 3D art assets from the Unity Asset Store, who happen to be the sponsor of today's video, as they are hosting a summer sale going on right now. And if you do miss their summer sale, no worries. They are running discounts pretty regularly over in the Unity Asset Store. Each week they do have a featured publisher of the week, where there's one specific publisher and a bunch of their assets will go on discount for that entire week. Also, a bunch of new assets on the Unity Asset Store will regularly go on sale as well. So I would recommend going back to the Unity Asset Store pretty regularly, because you never know when you're going to find that one asset that you've been looking for, or even just something to inspire you to help you get past some blocker that you've been stuck on in your current project. Now, once you get all these fancy new assets off the Unity Asset Store, you may be super eager to just download and import them all directly into your game project. And I will caution you to actually not do that. What I like to do instead is I have a second project that I call my staging project. And so in this project, I'll download and import everything into it. So, all the art assets, all the audio assets, all the sample assets, everything in here. And a big reason for this is just so I don't clutter up my main project. A lot of times with the asset store stuff is I don't necessarily know what all comes with the package for the most part. Sometimes a lot of additional extra stuff comes with the package that I don't necessarily need. Maybe I only need a small portion of it, or I don't necessarily know how it works, and maybe I want to play around with it a little bit first. And so this kind of staging project kind of lets me do this in kind of like a safe place before, kind of doing a bunch of crazy stuff in my main project, and potentially messing with some kind of global settings or some things like that in my main project that I might not want to do. What I'll typically do here is I'll go in here, I'll open up some of the sample scenes, I'll find some of the assets that I like, and then I'll end up just exporting those directly as Unity packages. Then I'll go over to my main project and I'll import those Unity packages that I manually exported. So the second tip I have kind of comes to figuring out how the terrain is going to look. And I started with the terrain that just came straight from the Cinti Tropical Jungle pack here. And I kind of started with this as a base, and I kind of started trying to use that, kind of initially, but over time I ended up just kind of leveling it all out and kind of like making my own thing anyways. But I think it was helpful to start with something that was kind of pre-made and already kind of had some artistic vision, because, when I kind of went into this project, I kind of have an idea in my head of like what a beach looks like from a top-down perspective, but I didn't really know, I didn't have a super clear vision of what I all wanted this to look like. So, having something to go off of was a lot better than to, just kind of start with the, blank white terrain and just kind of, building that up from nothing. So it was, I would say, helpful to, have something to start off with, like this, Cinti terrain pack, even if I ended up, making some pretty heavy modifications to it and, ultimately making it my own anyways. It was quite nice to have something that somebody else had kind of, already created to use as a starting point. So my next tip is going to be extremely specific to the type of game that you're going to be working on, but it's important to consider the framing of how your player is actually going to see the game. So for example, my game is kind of this sort of top-down perspective. So this means that I don't necessarily need to focus on some of the granular details as much as I would if I were to be making a first-person game where people are much more up close and personal with a lot more of these objects. So I can get away with, using a lot of these, environment assets at, say, like lower levels of detail. What I've done is you'll see that I have a few gizmos here that you can kind of see in the different views that I have here. One is you'll see kind of this green square cube outline, and this is kind of like the main play area. And so this is kind of like important because that's kind of where the zombies are wandering around, and that's kind of like where the main gameplay is taking place. And then I also have this kind of yellow projection outline, and that's basically just kind of like a projection of where, like, what the camera can see, basically being kind of like projected onto the ground. And then so that's going to be, really important for me as I'm kind of blocking out my scene, placing different assets. I know what things are going to be in view of the camera. I know what things are going to be out view of the camera. And so, I think it's just important to create simple little scripts like this. It took me like, 2 minutes to create these little gizmo scripts. So, it's really important that I kind of, figure out my camera framing and everything like that very early on, so that when I go to, start blocking out my level and everything like that, all that stuff is going to fall into place. And that's kind of like what all this level design is like built around. So then, speaking of blocking things out, then, the next thing I'm doing is just, blocking things out. Traditionally, when you hear the term, blocking things out, or your gray boxing, is kind of a typically term that you might hear. People are like literally putting like, cubes or gray boxes in the scene here. But when you're working with, things off of the Unity Asset Store, you typically, the assets are already made. You don't necessarily need to do the gray boxing thing as much. It's typically, pretty easy to just drag, your Unity assets in. You can scale things up and down a little bit if you need to. That's, one of the nice things about the Unity Asset Store is the asset creation is done for you. So you can just bring everything in. So, while you're blocking things out, you're pretty much getting final assets in at the same time. Now, kind of what I'm focusing on at this point is, getting a nice perimeter around my gameplay area, because that's kind of the main thing that I want to convey to the player is, where that gameplay stage is. I want to have like a few key important objects in the gameplay area, like this, little lifeguard stand. By the way, little Turbo Makes Games trivia for you. I was a lifeguard for 4 years back in the day. And then, can kind of focus on sort of the look of things later on. Anyways, kind of once I have that kind of perimeter figured out, I kind of just want to sort of just kind of expand out around the edges, just kind of, grow out sort of to the sides, just kind of like, fill in some of these extra areas that, aren't as important to the gameplay, but still just kind of, have some things there just so it's not as much empty screen real estate. So at this point, I'm feeling pretty good about, all the actual assets in my project. Now, it still kind of looks like daytime right now, and I kind of want this to play out as like a nighttime scene. So I kind of want to convert this to kind of like a nighttime scene. And actually, kind of recently, Cinti Studios over on their YouTube channel put out this cool video where they basically talked about converting a daytime scene into a nighttime scene, and it kind of goes over a lot of the typical settings that they like to change to do this. So I'll be sure to leave a link to that video in the description of this. But here's kind of some of the main things that I changed. So it's basically, kind of going into the directional light, changing the color on that. You also want to go to your global volume and, including a little bit of bloom. So, some of the emissive textures are kind of popping out with a little bit of additional light, having some vignetting. So there's, some kind of darkness around the edges of the screen. A really important thing is to go to your environment lighting and kind of changing your sky color to more of a darker blue color, which kind of really brings the kind of tone of the scene to kind of a more of like a nighttime darker type color. And a few of their packs also come with some cool effects. So they basically have actually like a sunbeam, which they showed you how you can kind of convert it into a moonbeam just by basically changing kind of the color on that, as well as a particle effect for some fog. Again, kind of tweak the colors on that, as well as kind of bringing in some fog into the actual main scene as well. So just kind of, bringing in a lot of those elements just kind of makes the whole scene just feel a lot more kind of like dark and creepy and just a lot more nighttime, kind of going for that nice zombie vibe. And so I think a lot of that stuff kind of, brings this whole scene together, makes it go for, a lot more of those vibes that I'm going for, which I really like there. So anyways, the last thing that I kind of want to change up is the water. So the water that I started with was just the water that came with this Scenty Tropical Jungle pack. And I think it's pretty good, but there is actually some additional water that I wanted to try out, which is from this Stylized Water 3 pack. Wanted to try this out because there are just a bunch of additional configuration options that I think are really going to fit the kind of look that I'm going for. It looks like there are some good options for some waves and some things like that. So I was kind of going through a bunch of the ones that it came with. I do like this Tune one. I do think that it is a bit loud. So I do think that we can kind of turn it down and maybe kind of add some additional waves and some things like that. So just kind of as I was going through, was able to kind of tweak some of the settings here to just kind of enable some of the lighting on here and just kind of change how some of the foam looks and, kind of add in some of the waves here. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with how this water ended up turning out to be. I think it kind of fits this sort of Toon look that I'm going for with this game here. And so with that, I think the last thing to do is just kind of fill up this beach scene with a bunch of zombies. And so yeah, with that, I think I'm pretty happy with how this beach scene turned out. And for me, I think it's time to kind of move on to making the last few environments of these, and hopefully it won't be too much longer until I give a proper reveal of this game here. Once again, I do want to thank the Unity Asset Store for sponsoring today's video. Once again, I will recommend checking out the Unity Asset Store. We'll leave a link to a bunch of the assets that I did use for this video down in the description below. And if you do have any additional tips for level design or environment design that you think will be helpful for me or other programmers, feel free to leave those down in the comment section below. Hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one.